Hey finders, and welcome back to Fortune Finds. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys how I did this eye makeup. So if you look at my eyes and you like what you see, that is what we are touching upon. I'm not going to lie, in my recent videos I haven't really been showing you guys what it is I do to my eyes because my eye focus videos really don't do that well here on my channel. But I've heard the people, I'm listening to the people, and I'm giving the people what they want, because I cannot tell you how many comments I've gotten recently that were just like, bitch, what are you doing? Your eyes look so different. Like, what are you doing with your eye makeup routine? I am teaching you my eye makeup routine that I have really been doing for the past couple of months. It's just gonna make your eyes look bigger, elongated, kind of give that feline effect. If you are new here and you've never seen my face before, my name is Fortune. I am a certified makeup artist, and I love to do videos like this where I just teach you guys a certain makeup look, a certain makeup routine. I teach you guys how to take your makeup to the next level, but I am a really big review channel. I love to tell you guys the ins and outs of everything that I buy, and I don't hold back. None of my videos on my channel are sponsored. All opinions and all of my thoughts are my own. So if you enjoy my videos, I would love it if you would support me just by making sure that you subscribe, ring the bell, and just give it a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Leave a comment. Any kind of engagement really helps me out here. Without further ado, let's go ahead and let's hop into this week's eye makeup tutorial. I'm gonna go ahead and prime my lids. You can use a concealer, you can use anything to prime your lids, but I am gonna go ahead and use the MAC Paint Relate Paint Pot, and I'm just gonna apply this with my finger. And the warmth of your finger is really gonna spread anything out, melt anything down, and give it a thinner layer. I'm gonna go ahead and hop into this shade Blanc, which is just a matte white shade, and I'm gonna press this into the lid. And I'm gonna really focus that on the inner third, essentially taking out the tackiness from that eyeshadow primer so that the eyeshadows blend on a little bit easier. And I am gonna try and keep the inner third of my eye, so right here, white, because it's gonna make our eyes appear bigger and more feline shaped. Scott Barnes 62 brush, but you could take any kind of blending brush. This one's a little bit tapered. And I'm just gonna take your typical transition shade, and I like to start from lightest and then build up to the darkest. So I'm gonna take this shade Cool Taupe right here on the tip of my brush. Any shade that we go into the crease with, I'm gonna start off on the outer portion of my eye, so right here. Wherever you put the brush first is gonna pack the most pigment, and I really want that outer third to be the darkest, again, because that will elongate the eyes and give them that feline shape. So I'm taking the shade, push it right into where my eye socket is, right there. Pushing it in circles. Really small circles, and as you can see, we just dispersed a little bit of shade right there. So I'm gonna keep dipping in, building out the outer third of my eye. When there is little to nothing left on my brush, I'm gonna bring it into the inner portion of my eye. This is not a difficult technique, but it does take some time. You really wanna get the blend nice and even, and you want everything to be really blown out. We are gonna use a multitude of shades in the crease, but you don't wanna be able to tell the different shades. You want everything to really blend nicely. With that Cool Taupe again, and now I'm kind of bringing it a little higher. For me, I have hooded eyes. When I open my eyes and look at you, I lose a lot of my lid space. All of this kind of hides. So for me, I bring my crease shade a little bit higher than my actual crease, but if you don't have hooded eyes, then just put it right in that socket. I'm not bringing it into the inner corner. I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm kind of bringing it towards the nose. See? Hugging it in that natural hollow of my eye, because again, I want that inner corner right here to be really light and bright. And then you always want to check for symmetry. This side has a little bit more pigment, so I want to add a little bit more to this side. And I am going to start flicking it up to lift the eye. See what we did there with that shadow? So lift and then blend it in towards the inner corner or the nose, like that. Fluffier brush, Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH31, and I'm just gonna further blend this shade. We're kind of just working on the shape of our eyes right now. I kind of just want this to look like a shadow in the background of our eyes. So that's why I'm really blending it out. Again, not really worrying about where I'm blending it. Same Scott Barnes brush. We're just gonna keep it pretty low maintenance today. And I'm gonna hop into a shade that is one step deeper. So this is the Cool Taupe that we use. Now one step deeper would be this clay shade. And I'm gonna do the same thing. And I'm gonna start in the inner third of the eye. And I'm kind of putting the shade on the very outer third of the eye. And I'm brushing it like towards my nose a little bit. So you can see right here, I'm adding that shade, pushing it in towards my nose. You see what I'm doing? Lightly pushing this into the eye. And then again, when there's little to nothing left on the brush, I'm bringing it in towards the nose. and I'm gonna lift it up as well. So now you can really see the shading that we've begun to do with the eye. It's really all about building slowly when it comes to eyeshadow. You need to keep in mind that as a YouTuber, we edit down these videos. If I were to not edit this video, we'd be sitting here for 25 minutes just doing the eyes. So just keep in mind that it's all about blending. It's about adding things in light layers. So I'm gonna go back in with our blending brush, the JH31, and I'm just going to really, really lightly blend this out. Terracotta, which is kind of like this orangey brown. Same thing we did the last time, but I'm gonna kind of bump this a little bit closer to the inner corner on the lid, but still keeping it pretty far out there. So I'm pressing it right here and I'm pushing it in towards the nose again. And then I'm gonna pick up a little bit more and I'm gonna lightly put this into the crease. And I kind of want this color to pop a little bit more than the other colors. So I'm adding a little bit more than I typically would right here. And again, I'm gonna lift it in the outer portion of the eye. And I'm gonna just go back and forth a little bit between both eyes, just kind of perfecting that blend. I think I brought this one in a little bit further than this one. So I'm gonna pick up a little bit more of that terracotta shade. And I'm gonna look in the mirror with my eyes open and kind of just plop this where the other one starts or ends. This one also looks a little bit darker, so I'm gonna pick up Cool Taupe one more time and I'm gonna throw this into the crease. It's all just about looking back and forth, making sure they both match. And now that looks like it matches way better to me. Blending brush, that Morphe brush, and I'm just gonna lightly, like I'm barely even touching my skin, blend this out. I'm going to take this small blending brush. This is a Morphe Jaclyn Hill GH40, dark brown in the palette right here. Same kind of thing, but I'm really going to hug this to the outer third of the eye. So I'm kind of like rubbing it into my eye. Can you see I'm kind of like pressing it in? This is just going to give a little bit more depth to the outer third of the eye, and I'm really keeping it tight. Like I'm just pushing it into the lid. And then once I have all of that pigment pressed in, I'm gonna lightly just blend it out, just so it blends in a little bit more. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm kind of doing like a weird C shape, like a small C in that outer third of the eye, like that. Add a little bit more, and I'm gonna lift it like I'm kind of putting it right here. So a little bit above my outer third, just to like lift the eye a little bit. And then just lightly blending it out. So can you see the difference between this eye and this eye? This one is just way more defined, and it kind of like brings your attention to the outer third of my eye a little bit more. So it makes the illusion that my eyes are a little bit longer and almond shaped. And then when there's barely anything left on my brush, I'm just gonna bring it in just to make everything a little bit more cohesive. And then again, you want to make sure that you brought them in the same. I'm just looking, and I'm doing this because it's easier to see in my beauty lights, just like what exactly it looks like. Okay, now before I add any more product and correct anything, I'm just gonna take my blending brush again. Keep this to the crease. I'm not really blending out that outer third because I really like where I place that. So I'm just gonna keep it to the crease and just blend it out. And you kind of wanna focus like on the edges, because the edges are what's gonna be a little bit jagged. You know, they're not gonna be as blended as the rest. I'm gonna go back in with that big fluffy brush that we started with, Blanc again, reinforcing that light in the inner third. Again, I'm just pressing this canvas right here more towards the middle, like where the white and the brown meet. And I'm only using a little bit, so I'm putting it right here. And then I'm gonna bring it in to the inner corner just to blend everything out again. And then this is a trick that I always like to do when it comes to the crease and just blending everything a little bit. I'm gonna pick a shade that I didn't use that's kind of a little bit lighter than all of the browns that I put into the crease. So when I look at this, I'm kind of drawn to this pink nude right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a hit of this and I'm gonna take a tiny hit of the terracotta, and I'm just gonna go over the crease with those two shades. So I'm gonna pick up pink nude, but more so pink nude. I want that to be a little bit more on the brush. Tiny bit of terracotta, like not even any bit of that. And I'm gonna start a little bit closer to the outer third of the crease, and I'm just gonna go like that and bring it up. So again, pink nude, a bit of terracotta, blend out the top of the crease. I want to go ahead and add a little bit more darkness, so I'm going to go back into the dark brown, and I'm just going to add that right here. And I want to add it a little bit higher, again, because my crease eats everything, but also it's going to disappear because I'm going to put some liner on. So I kind of want to add this a little bit more. Blend the crease out. Blanc again. I'm going to use a smaller little flat brush. I'm going to put this right underneath the tail of my brow. Fluffy brush again to just blend those two together. Eyeliner, I think I'm going to use this Wet n Wild one. I like to use a dark brown because it's not as harsh as a black. The biggest advice I can give you when applying a cat eye, a winged liner, is to keep your eyes open and look in a mirror. So I have a little mirror right here. I'm just going to keep my eye open, and I'm going to start off with the tail of the wing. You kind of want this wing to be an extension of your lower lash line. So just imagine your lower lash line is extending up. And then I'm going to bring it in towards the lash line. So I kind of drew a triangle, see? And then I'm filling in the triangle with my eye open because I don't know if you can see, but if I shut my eye, can you see there's kind of like a jagged, like it doesn't connect. You can see there's kind of like a jump in my wing. You don't want to close your eyes and connect it because if you do that, you're going to round that wing out. So it's not going to look as sharp. The most flattering type of cat eye is a really thin line across the lid. So that's what I'm going to do. Connect this like that. You see what I did? I hope you guys saw what I did there. We're going to go ahead and we're going to shape up the eyes and the liner and just fix everything. So I'm going to take a makeup remover wipe just like this and cut this wing and remove the excess shadow just to be the shape that I want it to be. And then I'm going to move to a different section, kind of rounded at the bottom of the wing. So I kind of want to make it a little bit like sharper in there. Can you guys see what I did? I kind of just like lifted that wing. I'm going to go to a new section of my makeup remover wipe, and I'm just going to lift this one up. And I cut a lot of that liner off. So those are about as good as I'm going to get my wings. I'm going to go back in with my blending brush and I'm just going to go over everything because as you can see, I kind of cut off a little bit of the shadow in this section while correcting. White shade. I have been doing this thing where I put like a little bit right here. I just feel like it brings a little bit of light to the center of my eye and makes them look a little bit bigger. So I put a little bit right here. And just make sure to blend it. So I'm going to take that small little blending brush that we used for that dark brown shade. This is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill GH40. I'm kind of just going to repeat the same steps that I did up top on the bottom. This is just like always a really good rule of thumb. So I'm going to go in with clay. I'm going to start in the outer third and I'm just going to hug it there for a little bit like we did with the upper lash line. So I'm just going to hug it right there and then I'm going to bring it in. Cool taupe shade. Do the same kind of thing. So keep it to the outer third. Bring it on in. And as you can see, it kind of has just given a little bit of definition under the eyes and it kind of brings more attention to the eyes in general. Terracotta shade, the orange shade, and I'm kind of gonna pop this like right in the center, right here, and kind of just wiggle that back and forth. And then I'm going to go underneath the whole eye to blend it all together very lightly. Morphe Jaclyn Hill GH42. And I'm going to hop into that dark brown shade on the tip of the brush. And I'm just going to hug this right in the outer third of the eye. And I'm going to use this to connect the wing to the lower lash line. Kind of just like stamping this right here. Just added a little bit of darkness to the outer third to really lift the eye again and give that cat eye effect. Back in with that little brush and just blend it all out. I'm going to grab this almond pearl shade and I'm going to put this in my inner corner, but I'm going to kind of put this where I get dark right here. So I'm kind of like pulling it up almost in a diagonal, bouncing it right in the hollow of my eye right there. Same shade on that same brush. I'm going to pop it in that little inner corner to bring a little bit of light right there. See how much bigger this eye looks more awake than this one now that I did that. Thrive Cosmetics, this is the liquid lash extensions. I'm just going to focus this on the outer corner and I'm going to kind of like pull my lashes this way towards my cat eye. If you are interested in this lip, is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Lip Secrets. If you missed my video of me applying this for the first time with you guys, walking you through it, swatching it on the back of my hand, as well as putting each and every product on my lips, I will go ahead and pop that video up here as well as down below in the description box. It's a quick little video, so come hang out with me, check it out, and let me know what you guys think. So again, I just think that this eye look is just universally flattering, and we just landed on that almond shape, elongated feline eye that I think, 9 out of 10 people aspire to have whenever it is they sit down to do their makeup. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you would like to see more eye focused videos like this, then do be sure to give this video a thumbs up down below and let me know that you enjoyed this, that you would like to see more eyeshadow videos. I would love to help you guys out. Make sure that you subscribe and ring the bell before you leave. I had a wonderful time as always. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, Finders. Mwah.